Welcome back to a Timey-Wimey pod where we watch every episode of Doctor Who from 2005 onwards. My name's Rebecca.
I'm Haley.
And today we're doing something a little different. We are doing our series 2 wrap up. So that means we're going to rank all the episodes, talk about our favorite moments, our favorite outfits, what we loved, what we hated, and just put a nice little bow on the thing we love known as series 2.
I am so curious to see all the things you have chosen for your favorite moments and specifically your episode ranking. I'm low-key a little scared for your episode ranking.
Yeah, I think my episode ranking, I feel like it's a little controversial, but I don't know. So you guys will have to let us know. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rank all the episodes. We're including the Christmas invasion, which I just want to say we might not always include the Christmas specials because sometimes it makes sense to include them and sometimes it doesn't. And it'll just be a case by case basis, and that's up to us. But the Christmas invasion is included for today, which means, and we're ranking two-parters as one story. So in total, we have 11 stories to rank. So, what is number 11 for you?
I don't think it's that surprising because it is Love and Monsters.
Mine too.
We talked about it in our podcast episode about Love and Monsters. Go listen to that if you haven't yet. It's not the worst episode of Doctor Who in our opinion, but it is definitely the worst episode of this season in my opinion.
I agree. There's fun moments. You can find something enjoyable out of it, but compared to everything else, it has to be at the bottom. It just does.
So with that said, what is in 10th place for you?
Okay. In 10th place is Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel.
I can respect that. Pizza World is so wacky. I hate it.
It is wacky.
Because of trauma.
Yes, because of the trauma. And it's just wacky in general. And when I really thought about it, I've never really loved these episodes. Like, I'll watch them every time, and there's fun moments, but they are just also very forgettable to me. I don't like the villain. I don't really like the use of the Cybermen. Like, the only thing that's interesting is the fact that they're in a parallel world, and Pete's there, and Jackie's there, and Ricky, and all that. That's interesting, but otherwise, I just don't really care for these episodes. Series 2 is a series of filler episodes. And when I really thought about those filler episodes, I still liked them more than Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. So that's why it's at number 10 for me. But what's at your number 10?
Okay, I feel like I am going to be obliterated online for my 10th place. It is The Girl in the Fireplace.
I understand.
I put this in 10th place because the way I approach this ranking is based on a few factors. How excited do I get about the episode? Do I watch the whole thing or skip around? And do I skip it during a rewatch? And I almost always skip The Girl in the Fireplace on a rewatch. We talked about it, and I mentioned how I really feel the Doctor was out of character in the episode. It's beautiful. Everyone acted really well. There are really great, funny moments. But as a whole, this episode just doesn't mesh well with me. And so for that reason, it's in 10th place. So please respect my opinion. I know it's a fan favorite. I know it's regarded as one of the best Doctor Who episodes of all time. I disagree. But yeah, we can all agree to disagree.
Definitely. And I will say I had to make some switches right before we started recording. And Girl in the Fireplace, it's hard to rank. But yeah, I'll go into that more in a little bit. But number 9 is The Idiot's Lantern, because I do really, really like this episode and I always watch it. But it has its downfalls. I don't really care for the villain. The endings, I don't even know how to explain what happened. It really suffers from like Rose being absent halfway through. We talked about how we don't like the ending with Tommy and his dad, but overall, I still do really like this episode and I have a good time and I will always watch it.
I will agree to disagree with you.
Fair enough. What is your number 9?
Number 9 for me is Fear Her. Now, I do enjoy this episode. I don't think it's the worst episode of Doctor Who. I don't think it's the best either, but I enjoy it. It is a fun watch. Tan and Rose are very flirty in this episode. I love all of like the hijinks they have. But I just put it here because even though I never skip it when I'm in a rewatch, it's just one of those filler episodes that I couldn't rank higher.
That's totally understandable.
What is in 8th place for you?
Okay, it's Girl in the Fireplace. And originally I had Girl in the Fireplace in number 9, and I really looked at it and I really debated how I felt about that because then Idiot's Lantern would be above the Girl in the Fireplace. And as I agree with all your issues with Girl in the Fireplace, I have the same issues. We talked about it. We don't love that episode. But I do always watch it. I don't skip it. And I can, if I suspend my belief and my personal feelings around the characters, I can enjoy it and get a good story from it. And then I just decided I have to think critically. And if I was thinking critically, then it had to go above the Idiot's Lantern. So that's why it's in 8th place for me.
I can respect it. I ranked more using my heart than I did critically, but it might have been higher if I was thinking more critically.
No, everything else I kind of just did based off of how I felt in my heart and my soul. But every once in a while, the critic in me kills the artist, and so I have to. That's why Girl in the Fireplace had to go a little bit higher. But yeah, I get why it's lower for you because on another day it probably would be lower for me. Oh, but what is number 8 for you?
Number 8 for me is Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. I agree with you. These are not my favorite episodes either. Don't love Pete's World. I think these episodes aren't particularly the strongest, but I do enjoy different aspects. Mainly the first episode I enjoy more than the latter. But I do feel like the characters for me save these episodes a bit, which made me put them at number 8 instead of lower. But yeah, that's why I kind of have them there. They're not remarkable by any means for me, but like I'll still watch them in a rewatch, and I still do enjoy seeing like all of the characters, like Jake and Mrs. Moore, and who I call Pete 2.0. And yeah, that's why I have it in 8th place.
That's so fair. Yeah.
What is in 7th place for you?
In 7th place is Fear Her. Listen. I am a Fear Her defender. I've always really enjoyed this episode. We get a lot of really fun Tenrose moments, a lot of flirty moments, and people complain about the child acting. It doesn't bother me that much. I like the story. I like the concept of the drawings. The 2012 Olympics has some sort of grip on my soul that I cannot explain. And I just love it. And it's so fun and nostalgic. And it's the last like normal Ten and Rose episode we get. So I love it. And I will defend it. Thank you very much.
Honestly, your defense was really convincing because now I kind of wish I switched that with Rise of the Cybermen Age of Steel. But it's okay. Everything's set in stone. It is a good episode, and I support your defense.
What is number 7 for you?
Number 7 for me is Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Ooh.
It was so hard to rank these two episodes because I can never ever look at them and rank them, rate them, review them objectively or critically. The pain is just too much. It still really hurts to watch these episodes. I couldn't put these at the bottom because I do think they are written pretty well objectively. There's just too much pain there and too much trauma. So like I just can't. But I also couldn't put these episodes at the bottom of this ranking just because of pain, because these episodes, like, I feel like are written pretty good from what I remember. And as I say that, we literally recorded Doomsday last week as we're recording this. The Doomsday amnesia is real. We talked about it
It's
in our
so
last
real.
episode.
It's not even funny. Because, yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm like, what even happens besides the last 15 minutes?
Yeah. But obviously these are not my favorite episodes that I really look forward to watching. So that's why I kind of have it here almost like right in the middle. So I'm at peace with ranking it here.
I respect your ranking.
Thank you. What is in 6th place for you?
In 6th place, we have Tooth and Claw. I wish I could put it a little bit higher. Unfortunately, that's just impossible. But I absolutely love Tooth and Claw. It's so fun. Like, the 10 Rose antics are so ridiculous. And it really sets off, like, the whole trajectory of the series. It really kicks into gear all the Torchwood stuff. I love that we get to see how Torchwood began, essentially, and how Rose and Ten kind of brought along their own doom annoyingly. I really love that aspect. There's problems with it. Like, we talked about the karate flying monks, like, that was just weird. And the wolf is, like, not the best creature, but how can you not love Queen Victoria? How can you not love Ted and Rose in this? And it's really fun.
I agree with you, which is why in 6th place for me, it is also Tooth and Claw.
Yeah.
I love all the 10 Rose moments in this episode, and I love Queen Victoria so much, but I just cannot get over the creepy guy with the black eyes in the cage in the basement turning into a werewolf. That just grosses me out. It's such an ick. It's not like my favorite, but I also enjoy it. So it was kind of hard to place this. Like, I didn't know where I wanted to rank it, but I feel like we're very similar in our thinking for this particular ranking.
Definitely. What is in number 5?
Number 5 for me is New Earth.
Oh,
I really do enjoy New Earth. I love being reunited with Cassandra. She's such an icon. I love her so much. I really enjoy meeting up with the Face of Bo again. I love the Face of Bo so much. And I love the Cat Nuns also. And the Duke of Manhattan is also an icon.
Yes.
But, like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If this wasn't the first episode in the series, I probably wouldn't look forward to it as much.
Totally.
What is in 5th place for you?
Okay. In 5th place is Army of Ghost and Doomsday. Similarly to you, I can't rank it any higher because the trauma and the rest of the episodes are reserved for just my favorite episodes and episodes I always watch and rewatch and love. And Army of Ghosts and Doomsday, like, these are fantastic episodes. They just are. But the pain makes it impossible to place any higher. But I do absolutely love these moments. David and Billy really give us, like, some of the most painful moments of the entire show to this day. Some of the most romantic scenes. Billy has some, like, really fun moments that I love. I love everything with Jackie and P. I just love that. Their reunion makes me so emotional. But yeah, it can't go any higher because the next few episodes are episodes that I'm just obsessed with.
What is in 4th place for you?
In 4th place, and it's New Earth. And I think on a different day, New Earth would be a little bit lower. But today it's number 4. And for the reasons you said, I love Cassandra, I love Face of Bo, I love the Cat Nuns. I love the ending of the Doctor saving all those people. David and Billy are fantastic. I always forget that it's just the two of them acting off of each other, but together they're playing three characters. And they don't get enough credit for that because they do it so seamlessly that you honestly forget Cassandra's not actually there and it's just them. And it's so fun. It's so nostalgic. I think that's why we all love it, is because it's the opener and it's so nostalgic and really just
Mm.
gets us going on this Ten and Rose journey. So because of that, it's number 4. But what is number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me is The Idiot's Lantern.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is the Father's Day and Rose of this series.
I
If
knew
you
you were going
don't
to say that.
if you don't know, Haley and I were going at it, not really, but we were disagreeing about the ranking of Father's Day and Rose in our series 1 wrap up. She has Father's Day kind of low. I have Rose kind of low, but she has Rose pretty high and I have Father's Day pretty high. So tell me how The Idiot's Lantern is number 4.
Honestly, the reason I have it ranked so high is number 1, their hijinks in this episode. Them
Mhm.
both saying hi at the front door. It's just
Mhm.
really great. And I love them in the beginning, walking and talking. I love the scooter, and Rose's outfit has a lot to do, honestly, with why this is ranked so high. It's just like the
Yeah.
overall vibe of it all. And even though I do have my problems with this episode, like the conclusion was a little like confusing with the wire. Like I still don't
Mhm.
quite know how like the doctor defeated the wire, but I love the whole vibe of this. I love that it's the 50s and that it's during the coronation, and I really love it. I don't like the ending, but I do like them being them, like the two of them. And it makes my heart warm. And I know this is kind of a weak defense, but that is my truth. And that's why it's ranked high. And I know people are really going to disagree, but I'm an Idiot's Lantern defender.
Yeah, no, I love it too, but it just I couldn't rank it any higher than where it is, but I respect your ranking.
All right, we are in the top 3.
Oh, top 3.
Loki, I feel like we're going to have the same exact top 3. Like in each place.
Yeah. I fear we might.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and say what you have in third place?
Yes. I have School Reunion.
Oh, just kidding. I was wrong. Okay, tell us why you have it as number 3.
Yeah, cuz you know that one time I ranked this as my favorite of the series, and I'll talk
Mm-hmm.
about my favorite later. But I absolutely love School Reunion. Given the day, it might be my favorite, but yeah, I just absolutely love this episode. I really can't say anything bad against it. I love everything with Sarah Jane. I love the Ten and Rose moment we get of them talking outside. I love the scene of Mickey joining the TARDIS. Like, I love this episode. K9, major comfort episode, but there's things in the next two that just kind of put them over School Reunion. But what is number 3 for you?
Is the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit.
Mm. Okay, do share.
Okay, now I will say this is a complete change
Right.
because these are episodes I used to like not even bother watching, and I really regret that because there's some really great Rose and Ten moments in these episodes,
Mm-hmm.
like so good. Even though like the Beast is just not my fave villain, I still love everything else about this two-parter, and I love that we're introduced to the Ood, and there's so many great crew members we're introduced to, and just a lot of really, really solid moments. And it's dramatic and it's emotional and it's also heartwarming at the end with Rose and Ten. So that's why I have it in third place. The top 2 I have just couldn't be beat for me because the top 2 are like my ultimate comfort episodes.
I love that you have come around on these episodes. I remember when they weren't your favorite, which is fine, but I'm glad that we're able to appreciate them together because The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit is in second place for me. For all the reasons you mentioned and more. I love the crew. I love the Ten and Rose moments. I love Ten's speech in the pit. I love the ood. I love how frightening it is. And yeah, there's so many good moments. It's really the best of the series to me. Like, there's a lot of highs and lows in series too, but this is
Mm-hmm.
as high as it gets. And I just love it. And I always think about the crew because throughout the show, we go to a lot of different places, we meet a lot of different people, and sometimes the crew is really annoying. Like in the Almost People
Mm-hmm.
Flesh episodes, I hate every single one of those characters, and we will talk about it then. But this crew is just so good. People still talk about them. Like, I was literally seeing tweets about Ida the other day, and it's been how
Mm-hmm.
many years? They're just that iconic. So it's number two.
I support it. I, however, cannot put it at number two simply because School Reunion for me is my number two.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons you mentioned a few minutes ago about School Reunion and more, it's just so good. I love that we have Sarah Jane and we have K9. We have the
Mm-hmm.
TARDIS moment with Sarah and the TARDIS. I just love how like everyone works together and it's just such a
Yeah.
fun comfort episode that I'm always so excited to watch. I love the whole back and forth with her and Rose and when they decide to actually bond. It's just so great and so iconic.
Well, I think we both know then what's our number one.
Yes, the Christmas invasion. Honestly, it's such a classic. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of my top Christmas specials of all time.
Same.
And I love it so much. Like, I can't tell you how much I love it. Like, I rewatch this every year during Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. It's like the ultimate comfort episode. And 10 has like 10 speech in this. Watching it back, like this is really where he becomes the doctor right off the bat. It's no wonder like the show became so iconic during David Tennant's run. And yeah, it's so good. And I knew it couldn't go any lower. It
Oh, yeah.
couldn't.
No, it couldn't. It has to be number one.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you listen to our series one wrap up, you know that we gave our favorite Bad Wolf Easter egg, which just means any moment leading up to the reveal of Bad Wolf that we really loved. And it's just really fun. And we're doing the same this series with our favorite Torchwood Easter egg. So, Haley, what is your favorite Torchwood Easter egg?
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you here. The Torchwood Easter eggs, they're not as fun or as cool as Bad Wolf.
No, they're nowhere near as iconic.
No, they aren't. However, my favorite Torchwood Easter egg, I would have to say, is the mention at the end of the Christmas invasion when Harriet Jones authorizes them to shoot the Sycorax ship. Not necessarily for the action, but just because of how iconic that moment is, and then just like the whole like, whose side are you on, Harriet or the doctors?
Hmm.
What about you? What's your favorite Easter egg?
I was definitely tempted to go with that moment in the Christmas invasion. However, I'm going with an Easter egg that I didn't notice before until this rewatch, and that is in Love and Monsters when the Absorbaloff says the bad wolf virus corrupted Rose Tyler's Torchwood file. And maybe this is cheating because maybe it's more of a bad wolf Easter egg than a Torchwood Easter egg, but it counts. I just love it. We talked a lot about this in our Love and Monsters episode, but
Mm-hmm.
I love that a little bad wolf mention, and maybe that is cheating because I love it because it mentions bad wolf. But it's so fun, and I love that it kind of combines both series arcs. And yeah, that's why it's my favorite. If I had to choose another one, it would be at the end of Tooth and Claw when we see Queen Victoria coming up with the idea for Torchwood. I just think that's such a cool moment and so haunting. And watching it back, it's always like a punch to the gut because you know what's coming and what Torchwood is going to do and become. But yeah.
I did almost choose the Love and Monsters one as well because it's such a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have a new category that we previously did not have in our Series 1 wrap up or our Series 14 wrap up. And that category is going to be our favorite creature or alien or villain.
Mm-hmm. So just any creatures or aliens or a villain that we just had to give a shout out to. Who is yours? I think we have the same one, but I want to see.
I think so too. I hope so. I hope we're on the same wavelength with this, but my answer for this is the Ood.
Me too.
They're just so iconic and I love them so much and I love the future appearances we get of them, and I'm going to hold off on saying more about them.
Yeah. I love the Ood. I can't wait to see them again in the future. And I really hope Russell brings them back. We got a little mention of them in Empire of Death, but I want to see the Ood. So come on, Russell, give it to us, please.
Please, Russell. It would be so good to see them again.
Now, you guys know we love our side characters, so we have to say our favorite side characters. We each chose 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I love how you said that as a question.
I couldn't remember if we chose 2 or if I just wrote down 2 and cheated. But who are your 2 favorite side characters?
So my first favorite side character is no one other than Queen Victoria. She just honestly felt so real, and I don't know if that like fully makes sense, but like I fully believed that was Queen Victoria herself, and she was so fun to watch. The actress who played her did an amazing job. And like we mentioned back in that episode, or I think I was the one who mentioned it, I would have loved a spinoff with Queen Victoria and Torchwood back in that time period because that would have been so fun with her. Like she was just so funny.
I would love that.
My second favorite side character is Kel from the Council from Fear Her.
Yes.
There's just no beating that man. He is iconic and he's a legend and he is the moment. And I do have an honorary mention, or I should say honorary mentions. I had to give a shout out to Pete 2.0, Jake, the Face of Bo, and Cassandra.
Iconic.
Who are your 2 favorite side characters?
Well, I also went with Kel from the Council because he's justice for Kel. People were just hating on him. Rose was ruining all his hard work. But I love my man, Kel. All the TikToks and memes are my favorite. I laugh every single time. And then my second pick is kind of cheating, but I chose the whole Impossible Planet crew. I already raved on about them too long, so I won't go into it again. Also, the Impossible Planet crew excludes Toby because we don't like Toby.
Okay,
here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad you made that clarification because we hate Toby.
Yeah. Toby haters in this house. But everyone else I love, even though some of them might be a little sketchy, but why I like them. And yeah, I'm not going to go on. I already talked too much. But yeah.
You know, I can respect choosing the whole crew.
Now, you know we were going to talk about outfits. We're going to share our top 3 Rose outfits. And before we share our rankings, I kind of have to Rose's style changes a lot from series 1 to series 2. And if I'm honest, I like it way more in series 1 than series 2.
I agree with you. I like her series 1 fashion significantly more.
Like she has some really fun moments that we will talk about, but then it kind of seems like they gave up in some moments, and I feel like in episodes like Dalek and The Long Game, like her outfits complemented the episode so well and really fit. And then there's moments here, like in Fear Her, she's just wearing a yellow shirt and a denim jacket, and she looks so cute. And I do like it, but I don't like they just didn't really go as hard as they did. And her style just changes so much. And we could analyze why, but I'm not a costume designer, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I just had to go on that little rant.
No, I completely agree with you on that. She has some like standout moments in this season for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but it does not beat series 1 at all, and I feel like series 1 fit her more
I agree.
as
I
Rose
agree.
Tyler.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you ready for my top 3 outfits?
Of course.
Number 1, Tooth and Claw. It just can't be beat.
Mm.
It's so iconic. I love that it's directly opposite of what the setting is. It's so fun. The little crown on her pink t-shirt is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
She's adorable. I love it. If I ever cosplayed, I would choose this outfit. Number 2, the Idiot's Lantern. How can you not mention it? The pink skirt, the pink heels, her pink motorcycle helmet. I'm obsessed with the whole thing. Her hair, it's so cute. I really 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 love it. I can't say too much more. Number 3, I really struggled with what should be my third pick. And so I looked into my heart and I really thought about this and I chose her waitressing dress from The Rise of Cybermen and Age of Steel because she looks so good. And I know it's just like a work uniform, but she looks great. And I love that her and Ten match. And just her in that dress running around from the Cybermen, it's seared in my brain and it's iconic and I love it.
You have wonderful taste, might I just say, because my first outfit I have is also the Tooth and Claw overall dress. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
will say that is one outfit from series 2 that I feel is the most like Rose. Like, it very
Yeah.
much is playing off of what she wore in Boomtown for me. And I
Mm.
just love the whole vibe. I think it's really funny that she's wearing a crown t shirt as she's meeting Queen Victoria. And it's just such a fun vibe. My number 2 is the Idiot's Lantern outfit.
Mm-hmm.
You nailed all the points already, but just like the hair, the outfit, the styling, her wearing pink, it's just perfect. And I chose something that I didn't know I would choose because I also looked into my heart and it was between this and one other option. But I had to choose it because it's just so, it looks really good on her. And that is none other than what I call the Doomsday Blue Sweater.
Yes.
She just looks so good. I feel like
She
blue is
does.
such an underrated color on her. And I just want to ask, like, why do we have to save one of the best for last? Like, for
No,
her last episode.
truly. Truly.
So I love all those outfits, but I do have to give a shout out to the waitress outfit because that was the one I almost chose. It was really, really close.
I was going back between the waitressing dress and the Doomsday Blue sweater. I almost did that
Stop.
because yeah, it's so good. She looks great. I really, really want that sweater. If anyone knows where I can find it, please let me know. It complements the episode really well too. I love
Mm.
the lighting when she's banging against the wall, take me back, and how it like just complements the blue dark background. It's so good and I love it.
Forever imprinted on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Rose's hair at the end of New Earth.
Yes, I know. It was hard not to go with her New Earth shirt, but in my heart, I couldn't.
Me either. All right. We have made it to what I feel was honestly the hardest choices
So
because
hard.
we're going to be talking about our favorite moments. And I feel like we
Mm-hmm.
just have to start off with our favorite Rose moment of series 2.
I'm dying to hear what your favorite moment is.
Oh, me too. All right, this was really hard to choose, and to be completely honest, I have more than one because I couldn't choose.
So valid. I also have more than one.
My main one, though, is when in Doomsday, she yells, Daleks! And tells them they need to keep her alive if they want the tea. And it's such a girl boss moment, and she does it so fearlessly. And she truly embodies the Doctor in that moment. And it's just so chef's kiss. I
Mm-hmm.
also love in the Impossible Planet Satan Pit two-parter when she just would not give up on 10. She would not give up. She knows he wouldn't leave her and that if he died, she would just know. Like I love that. I love her kissing his helmet. It's great.
Those are great. I have very similar moments. My main one is also from Doomsday, also with the Daleks, but a little bit later when she talks about destroying the Emperor and how she shoved the time
Mhm.
vortex in his head and turned him to dust. And she says, God of the Daleks, and I killed him. And she laughs, and it's so menacing, and I love it. It's so good. Also, any reference to the Bad Wolf moment, I'm obviously obsessed with. And yeah, it has to be number one. Number two is when she realizes Toby is the beast and she grabs the gun and Toby's going on and on about how he's, or the beast I should say, is going on and on about how he's indestructible and he can never die, nothing can kill him. And Rose just says, go to hell, and she shoots out the window and Toby falls into the black hole. It's so iconic, so good, such a great moment from her. I'm obsessed.
No, it's such a great moment and I love the moments you chose because they are great Rose Tyler moments. And like I said, it was so hard to choose because there's so many
Mm-hmm.
good moments with her.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what is your favorite 10th Doctor moment of the series?
This was honestly actually probably the hardest to decide for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't really say why, but again, I have a few. The first one is when he is in the pit, when he has his whole speech about how he believes in Rose Tyler, and it's just literally no words. Like, it has me in a chokehold. It is so beautiful. It shows how much he loves Rose and like how deeply he's all in with her, and it's beautiful and I love it. And I also love um when in the Christmas Invasion he says, this is my fighting hand. The way he says it, I think I mentioned in that episode too, the way he says it, just it's a favorite. It like is always in my brain somewhere, coming to the forefront
Mm-hmm.
at random times. And I would have to say my last one of 10 is at the end of the Christmas Invasion when he's having Christmas dinner with the Tylers.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
So sweet.
What is your favorite 10 moment?
Okay, we have the same one. It's the I
Slay.
believe in her moment in the Satan
Mm,
pit. This is just so good. And watching the scene after knowing what's to come, it's still so good because it just shows like no matter what, the Doctor's love for Rose is something that was so real and meaningful. And I just love how he says, out of all the things I've seen, demigods, fake gods, the pantheon, out of all those things, he believes in Rose. And it just it I'll get emotional if I talk about it too much. I love it so much. But yeah, my second favorite, or my runner up, is the Doctor reuniting with Sarah Jane Smith. David Tennant plays this moment incredibly well. And it really shows he is the Doctor because his reaction to seeing her for the first time in the teacher lounge is so genuine. And you can see how much David loved and respected her as an actress and a character. And I love that moment later when she sees the TARDIS and he's like, "Hello, Sarah Jane." Like, we already talked about it, but it's so good. But we were talking before we started recording, and the 10th Doctor really becomes the 10th Doctor more next series and beyond.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moments I can't wait to talk about.
Oh, I am so excited to talk about them. But before we get there, we have to talk about our last category, which is honestly really painful to say because it means we're saying goodbye to this 10 Rose era, and that just makes me really emotional.
Yeah.
But we are going to be talking about our favorite Doctor and Rose moments. If I know you correctly, you have more than one favorite 10 and Rose moment.
Yes, I do.
Okay, because same. Do you want to start off by sharing yours?
Yes. This was the hardest one for me to pick, and I really wanted to go with a moment that was happy. So I didn't want to do a doomsday moment because I wanted to be happy and pick a happy moment. And so when I really thought about all their moments, I went with their conversation in the Impossible Planet about having to get a mortgage and living in a house, and specifically the moment after that when 10 is like, I got you stuck here, like you're stuck here with me, and Rose says everyone leaves home in the end, and 10 says, well, not to end up stuck here, and Rose just says, yeah, but stuck with you, that's not so bad. And I just really love when he looks at her and he says, yeah. And she's like, yes, like affirmative. Yes. It's such a sweet moment for them. It shows how much Rose loves the Doctor. And this is a moment where I think the Doctor really gets to see that. And it shows that no matter what would have happened to them, these two would have been okay. Like, they are defying almost all the odds. Almost.
So close.
So close. Like, it's no wonder Rose has that moment at the end of Fear Her when she says, nothing is ever going to split us up. Ever, ever. It's so good. My runner, I also debated between this and the moment at the end of Satan Pit where they are reunited in the TARDIS. I'm obsessed with that moment and their hug and the way the camera like pans in on them and they rush towards each other and he picks her up. That's just such a good moment. And my other favorite is a 2-second scene that I could write an essay about. It's how long are you going to stay with me? Forever. From the beginning of Army of Ghost. And we already talked a lot about it in that episode, so I won't rehash it. But that is just such a beautiful moment between them. And I love it so much. But I'm dying to hear your favorite 10 and Rose moments.
All right. So it was really hard to choose a top one. So I have a bunch of runner-ups. But I wanted to choose one that just gives me warm, fuzzy feelings. And that is them becoming Sir Doctor of TARDIS and Dame Rose of Powell Estate.
That's a good one.
It's just like the culmination of like the whole episode when they're trying to get Queen Victoria to say she's not amused, that when they finally get that and then they get banned after getting knighted, like it's so funny and I love it so much and they're so excited. But as a runner up, I have the classic scene of Rose telling the Doctor her mom is on board. That scene is forever iconic.
So good.
And I'm going to list all my other favorite moments somewhat quickly. Them laughing on the TARDIS floor at the beginning of Tooth and Claw.
Yes.
So good. Them hugging at the end of the Satan Pit and being reunited, like you mentioned. Such a good moment. And I have to include it. The 2-second scene of them running at the beginning of Doomsday in front of like the shops, like iconic and
so good.
I'm gonna really miss them because they were so fun together and like they were really there for each other. Like Rose was there for the Doctor in a way that no companion ever was before or since. And it's really heartbreaking the way it all ended.
Yeah, it is really heartbreaking. Rose and the Doctor just really are, or a comfort duo. We really started this just so we could talk about them some more
We did.
because we just love them, and this duo will forever have a grip on me. They're so tragic and beautiful. I'm obsessed, and I there's not enough words to explain how iconic they are or why we love them so much.
No, there's not.
Anything else we need to say about series 2?
I don't think so. It's honestly been crazy that we're already through series 2 and that our next episode will be The Runaway Bride.
I know. I'm so excited to talk about The Runaway Bride and Donna specifically. And I cannot wait to get into series 3 and talk about Martha, which is going to be so fun, and all the twists and turns in series 3.
Yes. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, with that said, thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know what your favorite moments from series 2 are, and we will be back next week with The Runaway Bride.
And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at timeywimeypod and email us anything and everything to
timeywimeypod@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.